listening to the Next Gen Conservative Radio Network. You are about to enter the analysis zone, where political correctness is non-existent, where critical thinking skills are required, and conservative common sense reigns supreme. And now, broadcasting live from Next Gen Conservative Central Command, it's the Whitfield Analysis. And your host is Sam Whitfield.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Whitfield Analysis on Next Gen Conservative Radio via Spreaker. Apparently, it looks like I'm stuck with Spreaker for right now, which I guess isn't too bad because Spreaker, I think, in terms of web platforms, is a little bit better than Blog Talk Radio. You can check your audio levels on Spreaker. See, like right now, I can see I can see how my voice looks, the VU meter and whatnot. Blog Talk Radio, for some reason, I was trying to call in with a Google voice number that I have tied into my computer with my Gmail account so I can call into the show. And in the past, it's always worked for me. I've been able to call into the show, but I was trying to call in literally at 4:20 Mountain Time, my time, and it just kept ringing off the hook, and it wouldn't let me call into the host control. So, Blog Talk Radio, they're going to be receiving an email from me for a lot of different reasons. Mainly the fact that, first of all, the phone system does not work over there anymore. Second of all, though, I mean, they're really getting to the point where they might as well get rid of the free option to broadcast. Because now, with all their, to get like any sort of like features that like measure how often your show is being listened to or whatever, you have to pay to get those features. Now, the premium prices for standard packages. Don't get me started on what a ripoff those guys are. $39 a month for a premium broadcast. And that's not including a toll-free number or anything else. $39 a month, $399 per year. Now, come on, I know that to them that's probably some great price, but it's a ripoff when you have Spreaker, which only has like $39 per year. Anyway, you don't want to hear me bitch about the different radio providers. You don't want to hear me bitch about that. You came here because You are smart. You are intelligent. You have entered the analysis zone, a place where political correctness is non-existent, critical thinking is required, and conservative common sense reigns supreme. Conservative humor also seems to reign supreme around here. Now, I have a very wry sense of humor, folks, and many of you guys experienced this last night when you were listening to my radio show. Last night, and by the way, Jared is not here today. I'll be flying solo for the next couple weeks. But last night I did a show about Rand Paul's filibuster, and one of the things I did in the second segment of that show is I made the comparison of Washington politics to high school. And I have to admit, I was not expecting to get as much feedback on that as I did, but I had a couple of friends from my high school, some of my very best friends. We've been together since middle school. This particular friend I'm talking about, Antonio, apparently he tuned into the show last night during the second segment, and I was talking about how Washington, D.C. politics are often like social circles where you have the jerk kids who are popular and everyone thinks they're cool, but they're really jerks. You know, if you've been in high school in the last... Well, let me put it this way. If you've ever been in high school, period, and you can still remember your high school days, then you know who I'm talking about. I mean, there's always that group of kids who, you know, is super popular, but they're jerks. That's Barack Obama and the Democratic Party. And then there's always the group of kids that is getting picked on or bullied by the cool but jerkish kids, and that's the Republicans. Now, as I explained last night, the Republican Party, so they're just trying. So the Democrats, the cool kids in the quote unquote cool kids clique, they're calling the Republicans losers and nerds and whatnot. And John McCain and Lindsey Graham and whatnot, they're all saying, well, we don't like being called losers, we don't like being called nerds, so we're going to join the social clique. And folks, I'm not doing this as satirical, I'm doing just a very dry run of the segment I did last night. I can do some of the imitations, I guess, but, you know, why would I? Maybe I'll do some a little later. Yeah, I'll definitely slip in a couple of imitations later. But McCain and Lindsey Graham and the Republicans in name only, or the rhinos as we call them, They're like, we don't like being called nerds or losers or whatnot. The Democrats are mean, but hey, maybe if we just join their social, maybe if we just, change our values. Maybe if we moderate more. Maybe if we work together. Oh, then we can become part of the cool kids crowd. And we'll become so popular, it'll be so awesome. Everyone's just gonna have a good old time. Oh, who knows? I mean, we might get invited to prom with the cool kids. That would be so awesome. So folks, I just did an imitation for you. Hope you enjoyed that. But anyway, folks, that's seriously what it's like. So, these Washington insider Republicans, like McCain, like Lindsey Graham, and like John Boehner, who look as if they've been there since my great-grandmother was born. See, folks, this is one thing I forgot to bring up tonight, too. Lots of the Democrats, like the common everyday voters, the ones who don't pay that as much attention to politics as we political junkies do, the way the media has portrayed the Republican Party is the Republican Party is an out-of-touch group of white guys in suits who are 65 years or older and drink brandy and smoke cigars and have absolutely nothing in common with the everyday person. That's a stereotype that Republicans get stereotyped as a lot. And it's because the media is predominantly liberal. And the global voters listen, watch, and read the media's portrayal of the Republican Party. Here's the sad thing, though, folks. When you have old guys like John McCain, Newt Gingrich, and a couple of the other career old-time GOP old guard guys who realistically, now I'm being serious here, folks, lots of those guys have been there since the 1970s. That's 40 years they've been there. Although they look a lot older, as I just said. So America thinks that they're out of touch. And McCain, I hate to say this, but we deserved to get our butts kicked in 2008. We deserved Barack Obama's first term in office. Now, I'm not saying I like it, or that I did like, or that I like Barack Obama's, that I like either of his terms at all. But McCain was just... He sounds like an old-time fuddy-duddy politician, folks. And that turns people off. That turns the low-information voter off. The low information voter, folks, by the way, I have to define what low information voter is for you. I've been throwing that term around on my blog and on the radio show for the past couple weeks. But I have to remember that not everyone gets the chance to listen to Rush Limbaugh like I do. In fact, I know many of you more or less kind of consider me Rush Limbaugh for our generation. I'm not. I'm my own person. Rush has influenced me greatly, but I'm my own guy. Let me define for you what low information voter is. The low information voter is now, they're not stupid, folks. Okay, so I've been getting lots of angry tweets and emails from people saying, "Oh, how dare you call us low information voters? How dare you? Are you accusing us of being stupid, Sam? Do you think we're idiots?" No, I don't think you're idiots, folks. Here's what low information voters are, though. Low information voters are the people who they get involved in politics pretty much whenever there's an election going on. And by election, I mean either the presidential election or the primary election, which happens, 2 years after the presidential election. I think that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So they pay attention whenever there's a big election going on. But then the rest of the time, they stay uninvolved and they watch TV, read the newspaper, and listen to radio. And they think that what the news media says is all true, all knowing and whatnot. And they think the media is, telling the whole side of the story and that it's unbiased and whatnot. And they think that the news media is telling the complete truth. And so they assume that what the news tells them is 110% the truth. And folks, those of you who listen to this program regularly, whether it be live or via the podcast, whichever, if you listen to this program, you know that that's not the case. Because we've talked about the mainstream media. We talk about the mainstream media a lot, ladies and gentlemen. And that's not the case at all. But anyway, low information voters, basically what I just defined to you, they latch on to everything that the media says is true, and they latch on to these stereotypes, most notably about conservatives, and they think that conservatives are like moderates. They don't get the difference between Republicans in name only, or the rhinos, as we call them, and conservatives. So they think that whenever the media talks about conservatives, that means John McCain. And it doesn't. Now, they view that stereotype. Lots of people are disenfranchised with old-time politicians like... Whoops, sorry, earbuds fell. My earbuds that help me monitor the sound on the microphone, they just fell out. But anyway, getting back. So they hear this stereotype that's perpetuated, and they believe it to be true. The conservatives are out of touch with reality. And they think it's true, even though it's not. So we've got McCain and whatnot. Now here's the thing with McCain and the moderate Rhino Republicans. I don't know what happened to them, but their brains, at some point or another, their brains either got crushed, mushed. I think a couple of them had strokes that affected their common sense area of the brain. Because in the last couple of years, folks, John McCain and the moderates, Lindsey Graham, have been saying, well, we must compromise with the Democrats. And as I said last night, folks, that does not happen. You do not get to compromise with these people. You can't. You can't. I mean, there's just no way it's going to happen. It's either the liberals' way or the highway. So, but now it's gotten so bad to where McCain and whatnot, now they're all hanging out with the Democrats too. As I was saying, as I made in the comparison last night, McCain and Lindsey Graham and all those guys, right? Let's go back to my high school analogy from last night. Right? Obama is the cool kid who is actually a jerk. And he has a posse full of cool kids who are jerks. Those cool kids are his wife, Michelle. That's his biatch, as some of the kids in high school say. That's his hoe. I'm not being racist or sexist here at all, folks. This is what kids in high school and some of these social cliques call their girlfriends. But anyway, so they've got their posse, right? Obama's got his posse full of cool kids who are jerks, who go out in the school parking lot and smoke pot after school. They ditch school. Oh, and they're constantly trying to give the Republicans wedgies, and they haze them and whatnot. If you don't know what hazing is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in high school and you don't know what hazing it is, look it up on Wikipedia. I'm not going to go into graphic detail. I know that there are those of you out there who are thinking, Sam, tell us what hazing is. But no, I'm not going to go there. Anyway, so they're the jerk posse. The Republicans, and they're the ones in power. And the Republicans are the nerds and the losers, or at least that's how they're perceived by the cool kid jerk clique. I know that was long, but, that's what they're perceived. That's how Obama's clique perceives them, as nerds and losers. And so Obama laughs at them. Ha ha! You're a nerd. You're a loser. And McCain and whatnot, in the group of moderates, have said, hey, we're not nerds. We're not losers. Well, but then McCain and whatnot in the gang, they got this brilliant idea, and I'm being sarcastic. Somehow McCain and some of the other, Republicans, they got this idea that, hey, you know what? If we moderate our values, if we stop being conservative, then, you know, then we can maybe hang out with the cool kids. Maybe they'll invite us into their social group. And so they abandon their conservative values. They try moderating. And, you know, they're saying, you know, okay, there, do you like us now? And the Democrats keep leading on them, and they're like, oh yeah, now you're totally cool. And then meanwhile, Obama, with his posse, is sitting over at the lunch table, you know, without McCain and whatnot, saying, man, we got those guys to believe that, you know, we thought they were actually cool. Can you believe what losers those guys are? So then that's not good enough. So then McCain and Boehner and whatnot take, they go out to dinner with Obama and his posse. Now, last night, folks, there was confusion about when I mentioned Obama taking them out to dinner. On the night when Rand Paul filibustered Congress, I'm serious, Obama and McCain and the GOP establishment, the old guard, they actually were all out to dinner, and they were all in the same posse. And they've been doing this for a while because now McCain and Boehner and whatnot, they totally want to hang out with the cool kids now. Now they're becoming like the quote-unquote cool kids. But there's this group of renegade conservatives, the true conservatives in Congress, Rand Paul, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, and a couple others, who are, you know, who, when they get called losers and nerds by Obama's posse, they're kind of like, we're not losers. You can call us losers. You can bully us. But we honestly don't give a damn. Obama, you're a loser! Rand Paul. And your point is? So these, true conservatives, they decide to get back at Obama. So Rand Paul filibusters. And it is absolutely amazing. Congress is being turned upside down. They can't believe this is happening. And whatnot. It's just amazing. Folks, I'll be right back. This will actually be the end of this segment. I've got to play an ad here for you for Jimmy Z, who does my intro. Visit his show, thejimmyzshow.com. I'll be playing the ad for him in a moment. He and I were talking. He's going to be joining me on the show sometime next week if we can get the freaking phone lines working again and whatnot. Anyway, folks, I'll see you in just a sec. We've got another show segment coming up. You're listening to Next Gen Conservative Radio and the Whitfield Analysis. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the second segment.
You're listening to the Next Gen Conservative Radio Network. Hi, Jimmy Z here, inviting you to listen to The Jimmy Z Show at thejimmyzshow.com. Conservative politics with humor, irreverence, and colored by my Christian faith. On demand, 24/7 with new shows every Monday through Friday. The Jimmy Z Show. Hated by the left for all the right reasons. Tune in anytime, day or night at thejimmyzshow.com.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.